Welcome back to the channel, guys. Something a little bit different this week. This was filmed quite a few years ago, about 2019, 2020, around that time. It was back when I used to do urban exploration as a hobby, photography, before I got into filming for YouTube and whatever. And it's predominantly filmed around the Halifax Brickworks and Barker End Mill in Bradford. The videographer is a guy called Aiden, who used to work with. And he was doing it as a college project for his subject, which he chose. Urban exploration is his subject. So yeah, it's like a kind of like an interview type thing. So I'll play the video. Let me know what you think. Do we go back to doing a little bit of urbex? There's still plenty around. It's just I've been out of the game for ages and ages. And add it to the portfolio of already growing hobbies that I've added to the channel. We are trying to get out digging this weekend. Trying to organise that. Hopefully, we'll get on and we'll have a digging video eventually back on the channel. But yeah, let us know what you think, and give us a like and a thumbs up. And there's a new thing as well. If you're watching on a mobile or if you're watching on a smart TV, where it says like and comment, you can scroll across and it says hype. And if you hype up the video, it does better at getting the algorithm around the channel than a like or a thumbs up does, or something like that. Anyway, I don't know how it works, but it does. Yeah, just if you don't mind liking and hyping, and hopefully my channel can get out to a few more people. It's all free, it doesn't cost you anything, just like a second of your time. Anyway, I'll play the video, I'll stop chatting, and I'll see you on the next one. I suppose urban exploration's always been a big part of my life. Ever since I was a child, I grew up on a council estate from Burnley, and there were always derelict houses and buildings. We used to play in them as kids. Although it was very dangerous, there were no floorboards, half the stairs were missing. Obviously, as a kid, you don't really think about the dangers of it. I did my first proper true explore when I was about 14. It were an old mill down by the Rosegrove Canal in Burnley. An old smelting factory, and they used to make castings, cast iron castings, all the black sand everywhere.
Black snakes moaning, shed bells tone. Don't you hear them?
So we're here at Allen Brickworks, just outside Halifax. We're into a little bit of urban exploration. Today I'm shooting with my Nikon. It's my main tool which I use. Come to basically photograph the decay, a little bit of graffiti here and there. Any little interesting bits of history left over that we can see.
I would just look there.
Right.
In there, but top of the stairs, second left. Absolutely lovely if you're stopping over.
The place is mainly used now for people like myself, urban exploration, urban explorers, kids. They come here to tag up, shoot their air rifles.
But it's really not too shabby. It's a fantastic place if you want to see a bit of wildlife. If you don't want deer.
Right.
Because you're not going to see them.
And then we have another group who like to wild camp here. But they might come back with the lens and then.
Oh, you'd be worth it.
In fact, we just had one guy come through, we weren't expecting to see him.
Barn owls, you've long-eared owls, you've short-eared owls, and you've tawny owls. Now, a lot of them were giving it big licks last night,
Yeah.
but they just don't shut the fuck up. They're
Yeah.
incredibly noisy.
And he were telling us bits of bats, and he were here to see. Well, he were here to look at the old boiler room. This is the old boiler area, the heart of the building. And the reason it closed down is because back in the day there was a big explosion here. One of the boilers blew up and took 20 people with it, and the owner of the building couldn't afford to pay the compensation. So he's up in the top room camping, obviously hoping to see maybe, I don't know, a ghost or some sort of impression, if you believe that sort of stuff. I'm not saying I do, I'm not saying I don't. Yeah.
But if you get somewhere like that, There is a spot if you don't mind bringing a ladder. Fucking. You know something? People get snobbish about the fucking. Oh my.
Like I say, each expo is different. It's got its own characteristics. This one isn't so much about the buildings for me. It's about the graffiti and the artwork and the photographs I can get from here. And sometimes we capture buildings just in the last days of their life before they get demolished. We did a mill at Huddersfield literally a week before. They demolished half the sheds, and then they're going to turn the big tower, the big main block, into apartments, luxury apartments. They can't take it down because it's actually built straight into the bedrock. Must be 60 feet of bedrock they channeled through to build it. And in there were caves. You could access through the back doors into the cave areas where they've actually blasted the rock away. That was quite interesting. That were a nice little explore. So yeah, I mean, it's always before it was recognised as urban exploration, it's always been a big part of my life. I've always been fascinated by what's in there. You know, derelict buildings, old places. It's kind of got just a bit of a pull to it, and it draws you in. For me, I feel it's important to record and validate these old structures before they're either demolished or converted into something completely different. And the beauty in the decay as well, you know, it's almost like a canvas, and how, you know, it changes itself, like how stuff drops and how stuff falls, and you record all that, and sometimes you can get a really nice picture out of it, you know. So we've done the Allen Brickworks. We finished up the explore there. We had a quick drive over to Bradford for the next explore, which is Barker End Mills. So trying to show you two different types of buildings. One where we're mainly just there for the graffiti and a few of the older decayed shots, and then this one which is actually still a full structure. The history of the building: it was built in 1815 as a steam powered cotton weaving mill. All the weaving sheds have gone now, and it's just the main tower block that's survived. They do get a lot of theft here. All the floors have gone because underneath the concrete flooring there was a lot of Yorkshire stone paving slabs, and they're worth quite a bit of money, so you do get a lot of pilfering here.
Put a spell on me. Put a spell on me.
So we're in Barker End Mills in Bradford now. This is up on the top floor. Very stripped out, and we came, must have only been about 4 or 5 months ago. Quite a little decent explore. There were a lot to see. Still some original features. The original cast iron supports are still in place. All the old water sprinkler systems and the pressure valves. Not been in the basement unfortunately because it was flooded. But I do like a good mill. I think the most unique one I did was the Empire Theatre at Burnley, and it took me ages to get in there. It's been on my radar for about 4 years, and they're only tiny access through a really small cellar window, but it's on the riverside, so if the river's up you can't get in, and it were always like a bit of a unicorn for me, you know. Every time I went it were always sealed, or every time I tried the river were up. Anyway, I went about 2 years ago in summer, and everything was just right, just fell into place, and it was just easy to get in. River were down, window were open, somebody had left a nice little step ladder for me, and it were just got inside. It was just unique. Morning light coming through holes in the roof, and it just lit it perfectly. We went up into the auditorium, and there were beams of light just hitting certain spots, lighting certain chairs up, and it just gave it like, I don't know, a bit of like a magical feel, you know. That's probably one of the best explores I've done. So talk about the safety aspect now. We're showing you the dangers, showing you how dangerous it can be. I mean, running around in a derelict building is never a good idea. But we tend to take certain precautions. We don't ever break and enter. A lot of people think we do. I mean, the biggest thing we do is trespass, and it's a civil matter. So police tend not to get involved, you know. If there's people on site, try and ask permission, I suppose. But if it's wide open, they fail to secure the building, then it's open access. You can get in. We just get in, do our thing, never break anything, never smash anything up. Caught a few kids in before doing the same thing. We chased them out. Unfortunately, it's also a reason why a lot of buildings get burnt down and destroyed, I suppose. But yeah, like I say, I mean, there's certain safety precautions you can take. Good solid pair of boots. Obviously, if you're walking on nails and broken glass, we don't ever damage some structural supports for the same reason. Roof could cave in, your floors could go in. So if there's any advice I could give you is just be careful, just be safe. Take precautions. Always have a good torch, boots, and just don't be silly. Don't be reckless like climbing up an old fire escape that you know is not fit. It's not worth it. It's not worth your life. It's a hobby.